For most people, gastritis is a minor annoyance that will quickly pass by after treatment. However, there are some forms of gastritis that can produce ulcers or raise the risk of cancer. Diet is an important player in the digestive and overall health, so following a gastritis-friendly diet can go a long way towards relieving the symptoms. So Akira, I think I really have to take notes on this one because my husband has gastritis, and I think people always mistake a diet for losing weight, but diet is actually your daily eating habits, basically, right? So this is about a specific eating habit suitable for those with gastritis, right?
Right. Yeah. And for that purpose, I think we right now should ask the expert for this and to see what food is suitable for gastritis person. We are now connected with clinical nutritionist Dr. Kristina Joy. So good evening, Dr. Kristina.
Hi, Doc. Hi.
Hi, thank you for your time, joining with us here on 3 Hour News Show on our special segment, City Stories. So I think, Kai, since you've mentioned that your husband is dealing with this problem, maybe you go first with the question.
Oh, okay. So my husband has gastritis and quite a severe one. So what is the appropriate diet or eating habit for people with gastric problems?
Okay, first before we treat someone, we have to know what is the exact cause, because actually gastritis can be caused by so many things. Maybe we know that obesity is one of the factors that causes heartburn and gastritis. It can also be caused by bad diet, unhealthy lifestyle, medications, certain hormones, and also some specific diseases. So before we want to treat the symptoms, it is better to know the exact cause. If it's only because of your poor habit of lifestyle, like for how you compose day, and that's something that we can change. But if it's caused by hormones or some other diseases, we might need certain medication help with the gastritis.
Right, interesting. I mean, you've mentioned about one of the cause, or maybe the person who will closely get this problem of gastritis, the people with obesity. But you've mentioned that. But I'm wondering right now, how about the people with overthinking?
Oh, that's true. That's true. Because our mind and our body and mind, I mean, like physical and emotionally, we are very connected. We cannot separate like only our physical part and emotional part. They're very interrelated, and there are lots of studies studying how one condition from the physical part can cause mental or emotional issues, and the other way around, how emotional could disturb your or your. I keep hearing myself double, so it's hard. Well, emotionally we can get some disturbance, and then it can influence like for hypertension or gastritis and other factors as well, other diseases,
Okay,
other symptoms.
yeah, and as we know that we know there's a lot of types of several types of diet that actually happening right now in Indonesia, but I wondering what actually the specific diet program that is suitable for the gastric problems person, because I actually also have the gastric problems.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, try to quit smoking or maybe using vape, because it's very common. People still smoke and still use vape, and it causes increase of reflux, from the gastric acid. And then you have to see whether you're consuming certain medications such as aspirin or NSAIDs, because it also aggravates the gastric acid. And then try to avoid lying down directly after you eat, because you have to give time from eating, and then so the food slowly digested by your gastric, and then try to avoid eating large meals or eating late at night because our enzymes doesn't work. It doesn't mean that our enzymes doesn't work at night, but we need rest, so we have to give like 3 to 4 hours for the last time we eat, and then we go to sleep or lie down. So try not to lie down immediately. And then consuming triggered foods is, such as fatty, greasy foods, lots of simple carbs. So foods composed of flour, like bread and donuts or cakes. Those are the foods that could aggravate or trigger your the arthritis symptoms. And then when you have the symptoms, try to avoid alcohol, coffee, soda, because sometimes it could also trigger the gastritis.
Coffee, that's hard.
Coffee is hard. But I find it very interesting because apart from the things that we need to pay attention to, are there any specific nutrition, like specific foods that we should increase in the diet for a gastritis person?
Yeah, actually, we can try not to drink too much water when we want to eat, because when we actually needs the gastric acid to function properly. The gastric acid actually helps you to digest protein and also to absorb vitamin B12. So we need the gastric acid, and when we drink too much, we're diluting the acid, and it's not really good. So if you want to drink much, try not to eat it. Try not to drink between meals, like 30 minutes before or after. Try to hydrate yourself outside of meal times. For example, like 1 hour before or after meals. And then we can try to chew slowly, because chewing slowly allows your food to be like digested properly with the enzymes in your mouth and your stomach. And we can try fermented vegetables because they contain lots of probiotics that is good for your health. And try to eat protein at the beginning of the meal. So after you eat your veggies, slowly, chewing it slowly, and then try to eat protein. And then carbs is for the last.
Interesting. That's the Chinese way of eating. Yes.
Yeah, in Chinese restaurants usually give
Chewing slowly.
carbs.
No, carbs last. The
Carb
rice
last.
always comes after the veggies, the meats, and then the rice comes very last, separated. Interesting.
Yeah, fried rice is always the last.
Less water during meals and rice at last.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm noting that one. That's
And
very
eat
important.
your largest meal when you're most relaxed. So try not to eat like in a hurry, or when you're very busy or you're in stress mode. Try to eat light during those times, and you can eat your largest meal, use especially in the day, and try to reduce it during dinner, not too heavy on dinner.
Right. So, doctor, let's right now I'm wondering. Let's take like a play role. Let's take a study case in a day by applying the food that people need to consume and avoid during the day, and doing a gastric diet. So could you please give the study case for us? Like when we wake up in the morning, what should we do in terms of a gastric diet, and then at the lunchtime until dinner, what should we do by doing the consuming or the do's and don'ts foods that we should do?
Well, you should chew well. You should sit straight while you're eating. Maybe when you take a walk, you can take a walk after eating. Managing stress is also important. Quit smoking and cut alcohol. Exercise moderately, not too hard. Never eat during bedtime. So the last time you can eat is probably after like 7 p.m. and eat less for dinner. Try to use uh, loose clothes because if you compress it too much, it might increase your gastric acid also. And also, if you're obese, try to lose weight because obesity actually increases the pressure. So the pressure from your abdomen actually push the gastric acid upwards.
Okay, doc. But some people say that a gastric diet can help those recovering from a gastric bypass surgery. Is that true? And can you maybe elaborate more on this?
Oh yeah, that's very true. Why? Because gastric bypass surgery, you usually cut or tie a part of your gaster. So that means your gastric acid production will be less. That's why we have to eat and chew slowly, frequently, but little by little. So it helps with the absorption of the food also.
Um, doctor, apart from the what to do during recovery for gastric bypass surgery, are there any supplements and vitamins required for people who have gastritis in their diet, in addition perhaps to help soothe the symptoms that they usually go through?
Hmm. We can take aloe vera juice, or aloe vera gel, or aloe vera capsules because they're like the natural supplements to help improve your lining of the stomach.
Okay.
So if the stomach has like small injuries, it helps with the lining, the inner part of the stomach. And then we can also try probiotics. There are certain several specific probiotics for the stomach, which is acidophilus. It helps with the regulation of the gastric acid. And then you can also take vitamin B12 because usually when you have problems with gastritis, there's also a problem of absorption of vitamin B12 because B12 needed to be absorbed using the gastric tube. So usually there are people who have experienced gastritis for a long term, for years. They could get anemia from the reduced vitamin B12 absorbed from your daily food.
Oh, interesting. Oh, probiotics. You mentioned before, just a follow-up question because I'm noting this. You mentioned before fermented veggies. Is that kimchi and sauerkraut?
Yes, also tempeh. Tempeh is also good.
Ah, tempeh. Kombucha. Okay.
Yeah, but try not
Aloe
to
vera
fry it
juice,
too
that's a new
much.
one for me.
Yep. Okay,
Added-
okay.
Yeah, because added oil, like refined oil, is not good. It's not good for anything.
Right. So, doctor, since you've mentioned tempeh, kombucha, kimchi, so could you please tell us some food that people need to consume and avoid during a gastric diet? Like,
So yeah, maybe you all have heard that spicy and hot foods trigger problems like heartburn and gastritis. So try to avoid spicy and hot foods. However, ginger juice to help with the heartburn or with the gastritis, but try to incorporate ginger like the smallest amount, little by little, because not everyone can tolerate ginger. Not Please do not eat boiled or unwashed foods because they contain bacteria. It can cause food poisoning also, of course. And then be careful with dairy products
Dairy
because
products.
sometimes dairy products like meat, milk, cheese, certain cream products. Greek yogurt might be okay because they have the probiotics and they don't have too much lactose. But try if you want to try Greek yogurt, try it little by little.
Okay.
And certain acidic foods, of course, like oranges, grapefruit, or citrus fruits, tomatoes, lemons, it could cause discomfort and irritate your stomach lining. So some blend options like apples or bananas or papaya is actually good, safer option. Try not to drink alcohol because alcohol increase your gastric acid by loosening the sphincter in your esophagus. So try to drink water. Yeah.
Okay, and one last question, Doc. It's actually a personal question. Sorry, guys.
ahead.
Because you know, I have a gastric problems and also breastfeeding mom. So, is it possible to do diet? And what was actually your suggestion for me to do some diet and also like the tips, perhaps?
Yeah. So I recall that you told me you went to a nutritionist and he or she taught you to calculate all the
Yeah.
calories
Yes,
and
true.
nutrients
Yeah.
from your food. Yeah. Actually, you can use the simple plate. So if you have like a plate, you can divide the plate into half, and then you add half of your plate with vegetables because actually vegetables contain lots of vitamins and minerals that your body needs, especially when you're lactating.
Yeah.
It has folate, vitamin C, vitamin B, vitamin K, every vitamins and minerals. And try to eat like in rainbow. The vegetables you eat in red and yellow, green, white, everything. And then the rest of the half, you can divide it into two. The quarter, you can insert certain complex carbohydrates.
Yeah.
For example, like corn, potatoes, squash, or even rice. You can still eat rice. And then the other quarter,
Yeah.
add more proteins, like lean ones without lots of frying. So you can eat grilled chicken or fish, or maybe like steamed. Or in Indonesia, we have pepas. That's also
Yeah.
very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's very simple,
Yeah,
actually. You
simple.
know.
It is.
Yeah.
It's helped me a lot. It's visually tips, yeah.
Yeah.
Just look at to your plates and divide it in half first. Put the vegetables with the rainbow arrangement
Yeah.
for eating. That's interesting. Put the other quarter for
Carbs,
complex hydrocarbonate and also the protein.
Protein.
Yes.
See?
Wow.
Perfect.
So
That
usually,
is one of simplest rule because actually vegetable contains the less calories from every food groups. So when you eat lots of vegetable, you feel full longer. The satiety level is good. You get all the nutrients without feeling hungry. Without feeling hungry. Yeah. So you get all the nutrients, and then you still have the protein because, as you mentioned before, Indonesians usually eat lots of carbs, but it's very less protein,
Yeah.
and that's
yep, yep, yep. It's
And
usually,
we eat good protein.
yeah, in Indonesia, it's usually half the plate. That's the rice or the complex carbs. And
That's true.
Yes, and I think that's habit. So I'm taking a note now that you said it. I'm going to like quote this particular part and then send it to my husband. Stop eating so much rice. But doctor, thank you so much for the information. Do stay safe.
You're welcome.
It was certainly interesting. I have so many notes. Thank
Yeah.
you,
Thank you,
Dr.
Doc.
Joy.
Thank you.
Bye.